This is a September update on my 112 gallon average reef. While the tank is still mostly looking good, I have run into some issues over the past 6 weeks, and I'm going to go over some of that in this video here. You may recall I had issues with Montipora caps in my last video, and that has pretty much spread to most of my SPS corals. I'm not really sure what's causing the problem. Parameters are pretty good. I thought it could possibly be softy toxins, but even that can be mostly eliminated. When you look at this acro, you're going to think, oh, it's got burned tips, and the alkalinity spiked. It has gone up, but it's gone up from 8.0 to 8.3. That should be not enough of a swing to cause any kind of real damage, especially considering the tank usually runs at 7.7, but over the past month or so it crept up to 8, and I just left it at that since there's no reason to chase numbers, particularly when they're so close. I'm probably going to cut this back, but for now I'll just leave it. There's still good polyp extension, but even the color is certainly duller. Had a bit of trouble getting shots of the other guys. This one here seems to be fine, but the other small acro frag is really died back. Overgrowth at the other corals is also a factor there. This Oscillopora though is completely unchanged. I actually fragged some of it and it's already grown over by the time I shot this video. My Setosa is also looking terrible. This is probably the worst of the bunch, when it was looking perfect when the other Montiporas were starting to die. Now if we pause this for just a second, this is my frag tank. You can see there's frags of the green acro, a little tiny frag of the Setosa, and there's even a few pieces of Monty cap which were basically dead from the other tank, and I threw them in here. Now this tank gets all of its water from the water changes in my main display, so if it's a water quality issue, why are they fine here? Now this tank does run at a lower alkalinity, but other than that there's not too much difference. You can see from this picture it's full of soft corals, just like the main display. The only real differences are I don't dose carbon, amino acids, or run GFO. But again, all the water comes from this tank. As far as soft coral toxins, this cabbage coral recently split into 3 pieces. What happened was it was actually growing down so much that it couldn't support its weight and ripped itself in half, and then another piece also split. You can kind of see my dendros now, which were basically completely obstructed when this cabbage got so big. I also cut a big piece off this green mother that no doubt released even more toxins, but the coral is already looking fine. As you can tell, even for me it's hard to say that I cut a big branch off of it. I did experiment with adding a little bit of extra flow to the tank, trying out another power head, which effectively doubled my flow. I only ran it at full power for half an hour or so, and that proved to be way too much. It's one of the coral box pumps, which are very similar to the J-bows. I actually tore a polyp off this blastomusa from the flow. But I don't really think flow is a problem, even though I do only run 2 power heads. I have a pretty nice flow pattern, which is easy to tell both from this top-down view and the fact my tank is bare bottom and I only have detritus accumulate in a few spots. Running the other pump, I actually pushed the Gorgonian a good 3+ inches out of the water. The reason why I'm trying out that other power head is actually for another tank. I'm in the process of rebooting my 90 gallon, but I'll get into that in another video. Basically, I'm going to turn this tank into an SPS tank. Here's one more shot of the flow. This is with some peony mice is being fed. All my fish are doing great. The soft corals are doing well. Most of the LPS are doing well. So it could just be a case of you just can't grow acros in a soft coral dominated system. You can keep them alive most of the time, but who knows. The easiest way to move forward is just to move them to another tank. You can see here my blue lepto is doing really well, and while this is an LPS coral, it basically grows like an SPS that's encrusting, since it's all skeleton and very little flesh. My branching Cyphastria is continuing to encrust. Anytime now I should expect to see more branches. The side view is still looking good, even though there is obviously one coral in distress. I have since removed the second power head after filming this. I'm not really looking to remove my soft corals. I mean, this is a softy dominated system. I would like to keep some acros too. So maybe doing it in a separate tank is the easiest approach. I cut this chalice back a lot and it's completely healed over. That didn't take long at all. I cut this back because it was actually growing onto the next rock. I now have 7 frags of it, which will be tough to find homes for out here. I will be doing a video on my frag tank soon, as I want to trim that back somehow. This is really the first video I've shot where the tank is not looking better than the last. I mean, this kind of stuff happens. I've been making videos on the tank for more than a year, but I've been reef keeping for more than 10, and a lot worse things have happened in the past. Hopefully some or all of the hard corals in the tank will recover. I probably won't remove any of them unless maybe the Setosa. And from now on, when I get hard corals, they'll just go in the other tank. Thanks for watching, and happy reefing.